Artificial intelligence is an amazing resource that has recently added large language models to it, which enable us to talk to it and chat to it and build it as a powerful tool in our business. But the vast majority of people that I talk to struggle to actually make it work. So let's go through some stuff that will help you in this endeavor. So in this video, we're going to cover about 80% of the heavy lifting that AI does for you. We'll talk about data security, which is important. We're going to talk about making it talk like you. We're talking about how you can get it to write great prompts so you get the most out of it. And then I'm going to give you a prompt that creates great prompts. We're going to talk about a prompt library and prompt inspiration, and that's about all we've got time for. So I think the important thing is to remember that AI is just a tool, and it does 80% of the heavy lifting for you, but it's the middle 80%. So you've got to set it up well. We've got to give it good prompts, and we've got to tell it what to do. Then we've got to check the quality of it at the back end to make sure it's not fabricating things that aren't true, aren't real, or aren't in the voice and the context that we would like it to be in. So just remember, 80%, but it's the middle 80%, and it will save you a lot of time. So the other thing is data security. What can I upload and what can I can't? Now, I'm going to talk about ChatGPT because I'm a Mac user, and I traditionally find that Windows and Apple don't play well together. And therefore, so I've not really been experimenting with Copilot, but most of the things I say for ChatGPT, you can actually do in Copilot in a slightly different way, right? So data security is tricky, right? Most of the enterprise level options have the best security, right? So the paid versions have the best security, right? Important though, in whatever version you can, if you go into settings, data control and ChatGPT and turn off improve the model for everybody, that will stop ChatGPT using your data to train the system or the model for everybody else. Now, your data is still transferred temporarily to their servers, so it's processed and worked on, and it may be reviewed by humans for abuse and other legal reasons, and it will be deleted after 30 days, right? So if ChatGPT happened to get hacked in that time, then that data could be up there, right? Remember too, there's no end-to-end encryption over control. So if people are hacking into the stream of data coming out of your system, then they could potentially get access to your data. And there's no control over what happens with third-party apps. So you need to be mindful for using third-party apps that also access AI that they're doing it, right? One of the big challenges with all this is that the certifying bodies and government cannot keep pace with change. But the best practice at the moment is avoid entering sensitive data, client names, IP, financials, that sort of stuff. So scrub it of any data that will, locate it to a particular person or entity or something else, and particular information you don't want up there. Use the enterprise team or the pro version. So enterprise and team are locked down and they don't train your data automatically, but with the pro you have to go and change the settings, as I mentioned previously. Review your prompt content like you would when emailing a third-party consultant. So think about what's in the content and what you're saying. Does it have information in it that you don't want shared, all right? And in your standard operating procedures for your business, make sure that your team understand they're not to enter confidential data into AI tools without prior approval. Okay, so that's the security piece. Making it talk like you. So the biggest challenge I find for most people is they say, well, AI doesn't write like me and it doesn't do what I want it to do. It's because we haven't trained it to talk like you. Really simple way to do this prompt here. The one I've used is you're a prompt engineer, create a prompt that will enable ChatGPT, but you could put Copilot or whatever you like in there to write in a similar tone, character and style to the following blogs. And what I've done there is upload a series of blogs that I wrote myself, so they will have the flavor of me in them. And this is what it came back with. It said, write in a professional, concise, conversational and engaging style, offering practical advice with a positive and supportive tone, include clear steps with relatable examples, and organize the content with headings, tables and bullet points as required. I always add, because I'm Australian, write using UK English, spelling and grammar. Okay, so I tend to do that. It often doesn't get Australian English and spelling grammar, so I've just left it as UK English, right? So that's ChatGPT. You can do a similar thing in other AI applications. Now in ChatGPT, if you take that prompt and if you go to settings, personalization, customize ChatGPT, you have to click on it. It doesn't look like it's a clickable thing, but click on it. There's a space there for you to put your information in, and that will save it so that ChatGPT should always write like you in that style, and you don't have to be putting your voice prompt in there, right? Your brand prompt in there. So if you're unsure of it, just append every prompt with this brand voice prompt, okay? And you'll be fine. Let's talk about writing powerful prompts, right? So prompt engineering is probably one of the critical skills. Why is that? Well, if you think about, we've got a task, right? So it's write a one-page paper on leadership trends, right? So you can either write it yourself, which will take about 30 minutes. If you're actually good at what you do, it'll take about 2 hours if you have to think these things through. But it will be really authentic. It'll be in your voice, right? The alternative is you go, write me a one-page paper on leadership. AI will write it for you. It'll take about 30 seconds, but it'll be really inauthentic. It will use words that you will never use. So for me, it rather use words like truly and tremendous and stuff, which I wouldn't ever use in a business context, right? But if we take the time to develop a nice prompt, write me a one-page paper on leadership with 5 key points, the importance of being authentic, being present, capability, alignment, and values, write in my tone, being professional, concise, and practical. Remember, if you put that in the ChatGPT, you don't have to do that. You will end up with something that's a blend of AI and your authentic voice. That'll take you a bit longer. It'll take you 3 minutes, but it's really authentic because it'll sound like you, and it'll have the content that you want in it, right? So that's the benefit of it, and you get a 10 times improvement in productivity from doing it. So how do we write a good prompt? I'm not going to take you through it in a lot of detail. Go and watch Jeff Sue's video here. Jeff's amazing at this stuff. It's a really good video, and I encourage you to do that. So follow that link. But basically, it's 6 key steps. What do you want done, which is the task? The content, you've got to limit the infinite possibilities. The exemplar, you need to give some examples. The persona, what perspective do you want? So what perspective do you want the AI to come from? Format it, how do you want it presented? And then the tone, how do you want to convey that information, right? And of those 6 things, I think the first 2, task and content, are mandatory depending on the topic that you're doing, but I think they're important. Give it the task and the context. And probably for me, if you're doing outbound communication, then the tone is really important as well, right? So how does that play out in the real world? Well, if we put a prompt together like this, and I've color-coded it so what you want to do. So the task is in black. Develop an insight paper on avoiding stagnation. The green is context. Make it no longer than 1 page with about 6 key points. The exemplar is draw on the Mindshot paper here for inspiration. Persona, adopt the persona of a leading business advisor. And then ensure it has an introductory paragraph and then 6 key points and the summary, which is the format. And then lastly, the tone. How do you want to convey it? Write in a style that is confident, engaging, and professional. All right? End up with a really powerful prompt then that gets you exactly what you want. Okay? Now, if you've got complex tasks and you want to think about a prompt that will help you create really good prompts, here's a prompt that I use. And I've got some help to write this one, but this is, if you use this prompt, you can just cut and paste it in. It will ask you questions, and it sets up an iterative process where the AI will go round and round in circles, providing you with things. It will ask you 3 questions, and it will give you stuff. And when you've got to the prompt that you want, then you stop. All right, but it's a really powerful prompt to help you write good prompts. Particularly if it's a complex thing that you're trying to do. Just have a play with it. It's really, really powerful. All right. So last bit is, or last couple of bits, we want to create a prompt library, right? So keep the good ones for future reference. We want to build a library of prompts, copy the prompts that you use frequently, or deliver great results, or are really complex into your own prompt library. My suggestion is you use Notion, OneNote, Google Docs, Evernote, whatever it is, your favorite note-taking app to store them. So I've just got them stored in 1 page in there, and I use OneNote for that. Sort them into meaningful categories, marketing, sales, operations, delivery, customer service, whatever you want, right? Sort them into meaningful categories. And then all you have to do is cut and paste them into AI when you're ready to go. All right, so build a library of them. But if you're looking for inspiration for smarter prompts, I've spent a fair bit of time with clients helping them write better prompts. And so what I thought I'd do is put together a prompt library for you. So these are for business owners, and there's 750 proven prompts to grow sales, boost profit, and solve real problems. It's a resource that's always there for you, right? And it's going to help you. And this is the first in a new series of role-specific, industry and role-specific prompt books. So this is a general one for business, but I'm going to break it up revise it and come up with prompts and things for specific industry groups. All right, if you're interested in it, you can buy it now at Amazon in either an ebook or paperback form. Okay, no pressure, but that's if you want some really good prompts. 750 prompts is really, it's a lot of prompts, and there's some brilliant prompts in there, let me tell you. Okay, so next steps are get out and practice with your AI. So get an account, open it up, use it, have it open, use it to cross-check what you're doing, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, that sort of stuff. Be mindful that we need to be authentic in what we do. I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for AI, is if it writes inauthentically, then you've probably got to have a think about what you're doing, because it won't come across as you, and people will mark you down for that. All right. Of course, if you've got any questions, please let me know. If you're watching this on YouTube, you can put some comments into the comments section with any questions. I'll put the links and things into the comments section so that you've got those as hyperlinks for you to go and look up. Okay. Wish you all the best.